Kenji's World. What's up? What's up? What's up? If anyone noticed, I was trying to repeat the old. Was it the Adam West Batman? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kenji's World, Kenji's World. Today is 15th of July. Lots going on. Can feel it. Can feel the air. Something in the air about cleansing, purifying, removing crap. Just what I'm feeling within myself. I bet you if I listened to some astrological readings right now, that would be the energy or something of the nature of making space for the new, reorganizing, etc. I don't know, and this is just what I'm feeling at the moment and what is going on. How are you guys doing? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Hope on this other side of this lens you are sitting there contemplating the existence of your life, where you are right now, what's going on, and how all these influences are affecting you, and how that is either going to be a determining factor for how you then react to this world, or hopefully it's giving you insight into how much more control you can have in your life. Now, we discussed yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the paradox of control of the human individual connected or having a relationship consciously with spirit and divine and God, or whatever you want to call it, and what that means. Because it's funny, it's always a relinquishing of control is the choice that we make, and we're surrendering to the force that we believe that knows more, is wiser, and has a far better longitudinal plan than I. My longitudinal plans would usually be limited to 2 weeks. I figured this out the hard way. Details below. No, I'm kidding. So that's what I'm feeling at the moment. I don't know what you guys are feeling. There's a lot of new things starting at the moment. Well, not completely new. I've been starting a few projects and they're finally finding their traction right now. So it's not new. I guess they're starting to give rise to something. Something is being, the sprout is starting to arise. Now, this is a crucial time. Must keep watering that sprout, as above so below, or the seed or the little sproutling won't make it. This is the most crucial time of gestation, or whatever you want to call it. I guess it's not gestation, I don't know, but crucial periods of growth and implementation. I would say these are the points where I have a tendency to sit on my laurels on small wins, and then I might lose momentum, and the thing that I'm trying to build doesn't gain enough traction. Because if you're trying to build something, you need a certain amount of momentum. That requires a certain amount of energy. You're trying to turn that engine. It's like those old school cars or planes that had to crank. You had to crank them, and you had to crank it to a certain point that they would kick over. Once they're kicked over, you're good. That thing's ready to roll. But until you do, you have to keep cranking, and you got to be careful as well. With those old school motorbikes, I remember hearing about how much they would kick back and stuff like that. Would love to hear stories if you had any of those kinds, or still do. I've seen people have those 1910, 20 collector motorcycles. Super, super cool. But that's what I'm feeling at the moment. This fruits, very small fruits, but fruits coming from putting things in play. And I'm seeing a few things being put in place, and now it's always a time, I always have to allocate time, to sit back and look at the scope of things, because I am juggling a few things. And hey, aren't we all, realistically, even if we don't want to be? Right now, there's work, personal, family, relationships, social. There's always so many factors that we are putting into our lives that we must organize as we get older. When you're younger, it's kind of happening. You're not really thinking about it. It's not really conscious in the sense of making choices. Not to say it's not, because we were talking about some guy, 21-year-old kid, who's got a program, environmental cleanup program that's got 500 volunteers, 8 board members. So some dudes dudes and dudettes got their lives way more sorted than I do. So Kenji's world sits here right now as a novice, once again. But not a novice that's starting from zero. He's bringing some skills from the past into this moment. And now it's a new wave of how to apply this knowledge into new fields. But the energy today and the vibe today from myself and what I was confronted with and had to challenge myself and had to overcome, and it's always a daily grind, but had to overcome, is this notion of what stops me from being the best version of me possible, right? What stops me from being that guy that I really want to be? How much do I shy away from it? Worried, concerned of social norms, social etiquette, should, can't, or that you feel that if you were to be so boisterous, people would find you obnoxious, or it's still a pathway of really cultivating my faith with myself in terms of what that energy is that derives a personal and individual makeup of me, myself. And letting that shine, because that takes effort, that takes energy, it takes an understanding, it takes bravery, it really does. I was saying to my girlfriend today of the thrill, truly this, really lights you up kind of thrill of the act of opening of your heart, really opening it, and feeling the presence of somebody else in your life. Just a passing by stranger, you probably wouldn't really recognize how much you shut down the energy of someone passing by. But what does that mean for you to really open your heart up to that person that you don't even know, but then there is a connection, a real connection? What does that mean? What does that mean when you can have a completely amazing and deep connection, even if it's temporal, with an absolute stranger? What does that mean about the interconnected nature of the universe, or our model of our universe believing that all things are disconnected and have no relevance with each other? Realistically, I ask, who's still there? In my opinion, who still sits there of a disconnected worldview? Unfortunately, I'd probably step outside of my circles and spheres, and there is a lot. So for those that are watching and maybe are at that point, and maybe you don't see or you can't feel, so it's not so much about seeing it, you can't see everything. Humans can only see a very small spectrum of light, and the visual spectrum is very small. Even though we see a lot of things, it's still very small in comparison of what's really happening if we're looking at it from a scientific ultraviolet, infrared, and all the spectrums of light and color and frequency. We're not seeing radio waves, we're not seeing internet, we're not seeing all this stuff flying through the air, the code, this binary code that could be flying around in front of my face. I don't see all that stuff. But on a deep, deep, deep level, I do believe that you do feel it, that we do feel it in some shape or form, and it takes a form inside of us and flows. And this is the energy, whatever we call it. And even by explaining it right now, does it sound complex? Does it sound a little bit like convoluted, that it's so many words going on trying to mix into it? Even my brain doesn't like it. I hear myself yarn sometimes and I think, come on, dude, someone's going to tell you to shut the fuck up. But it's too much to try and focus on all these things. So I ask myself, why do I try to focus on other things? What's the point? What's really the point of focus that we want to be attuning to? And there's only really one. There's only one moment. I always thought back in the day, I don't know how this revelation came to me, but I deep down knew that the truth and everything that I was probably deep down looking for at a soul level was in the moment. And I had to figure out somehow a middle ground. I didn't contextually understand that at the time, but these days more and more it makes sense. I need to find this middle ground between the two worlds, the worlds that I live in, a human world, but it's also a spiritual being. And I'm going to continue to bring this language up because I can even feel in myself a hesitation of using that language sometimes because I don't want to lose people or lose audience members, but that's coming from a place of fear. but also I don't want to use the language that may put you guys who are listening into a box of thinking that this thing is what I have just said it as, because what I've just said it as may not mean the same thing to you as it does to me. Hence why I'd like to use different language. I'd like to put it out in so many ways that I'm curious to see where yourselves, viewers, are at with this experience. And if it's no experience for you at all, if this is not something that you are coming by in your life, then I would really love to hear what it would be like for you if you were to endeavor to see what that means. What does it mean that we are all connected here, living a collective experience through individual lives? Paradox, the human existence. So that's kind of what's going on. And yeah, the energy is, what do I need to do to really be the best version of myself? And stepping up, and how can I express myself? What do I need? Art, business, work, relationships. I'm really loving my relationship right now because my partner and I are really sharing a lot more of that which creates fear within ourselves, and that deep sharing brings us closer together. So I'm really loving that. It's cultivating such a deep and personal and meaningful, and it's giving me lots of revelations about who I am, what I'm capable to be, and the things that hold me back. I think relationships always bring up so much because you're trying to connect at such a deep level. And I can tell in the past I'd be like, I don't want to share my soul like that. But now I have someone very wonderful that I get to share my life with, and we're endeavoring on this pursuit and this partnership. It's been great. And so that's another element of my life, a huge element of my life that's really shaping and having an impact on where I'm going and who I'm becoming. And there's so many other things like my music, and I'm really trying to find how can I have those bridges that are ticking off a few things at once, because I love to do my breath work. I love to do my articulation exercises. I love to find ways that I can speak clearer, which is why I do this. I just want to talk to you guys, whoever's on the other side listening. I want to be able to speak to you guys. I want to minimize my mental crap, but I want to share a bit of crap, but not too much crap. A bit of crap, not too much crap, but a bit of crap. And with my music, I found out it's a great way to exercise my voice when I'm singing, because I love singing. So my vocal exercises just can become my singing exercises, and articulation can be my rap songs, instead of always just doing my bada gada 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 bada gada gada bada bada gada gada gada, which is great for an exercise, but then that needs to be applied. Doing more script work, which is just fun. I'm trying to figure out the journey. Acting and breaking down scripts are a very interesting pathway. It opens up interesting pathways as well of what that means to see a story, to connect a story together from multiple perspectives as well. Very fascinating. We just do that every day, and stories are created because we just live our lives. But what does that mean to step back and try and understand that journey? And I'll definitely acknowledge that acting had a huge impact, or the journey and the learning and the unlearning necessary to try and bring about a great performance. And to me, a great performance is someone that's connected to the truth of the message and that which is trying to be delivered to an audience, and really stays focused on that journey, watching these great performances and what makes it great and what makes it not so great. And I can start to see that it's this focus. You get an understanding of what that story is, or what this person is trying to bring forth. As above, so below. So this is this as above, so below. I see that language I'm trying to bring in. Count that cosmic relationship between script work and life. Or sometimes things happen in our life that's applicable to our work, either script or to music, to other things. Revelatory moments. Causal relationship, the principle of correspondence. Check it out. See what happens when you apply it into your life. So that's the energy. And the final thing is, look at our crypto prices right now. Oh, Solana is at 151. This is USD, by the way. It looks so sweet. I need to take out some money today, so I was pretty happy that BTC is up to 62k USD at the moment. Seems like a lot of crypto coins are going up. I don't know what's peaking these. I am not a financial expert. I have no insight into this right now. I just know there was that assassination attempt on Donald Trump, whatever that may be. After that, Bitcoin spiked, but I'm not saying that is got any correlation, because I was starting to read into how much Hong Kong also had a Bitcoin ETF. I think Hong Kong had a Bitcoin and ETH ETF approved over there. Japan has got huge investment funds that are starting to open up their portfolios to Bitcoin as well. So a large amount of institutional cash is starting to flow into crypto, and by crypto I mean Bitcoin. But these Bitcoin cycles are going to be slightly different to the past, because now it's not just crypto native money flowing around. It's going to be institutional money, and they're going to have their investment ways, let's just say. I was going to say structures, but ways. And so I don't know what that's going to look like. It's still all new to me. I really don't understand enough, but it's an interesting journey nonetheless. I'm sure if you watch my videos, you'll see these prices go up and down. I'm not showing charts, but just the prices. And also, I just got to say that I have this ticker here because I'm so damn, I guess proud's an interesting word, but because I didn't code it. I used ChatGPT to code this. I didn't actually write the code. But I managed to utilize ChatGPT to understand a code and write me a code. And hey, I managed to punch it into Visual Code Studio. And I managed to create this ticker that I can now use on my videos, which I'm super stoked about. So hope you enjoy. Have a look at it anyway. Check it out. Check out my work, mate. And this is... I'm not going to go into that next thing I was thinking. I'm going to leave it at that. How can you be yourself? What do you need? What's in your way? How can you just step up for at least a day, at least a minute? Start with the minute. We'll start with the second. Just slowly make that longer and really feel into just so wholeheartedly being yourself. And my God, how amazing that can feel. Just give it a shot. You deserve it. For those watching, for those listening, anybody out there, even if they're not watching this right now, because guess what? No one's watching this right now. But to all those out there that I'm even speaking this message to, you deserve it. You deserve to be the happiest that you could ever be. And so, give it a shot. Give it a crack. Be well. Be love. Love yourself. Love those around you. Give thanks. Have gratitude. And I'll see you again tomorrow